Okay. Oh, good crunch. That definitely got
That
in.
was a good crunch.
That was a Foley crunch. Because as you walk into the plaza before the College of Divination, you step on a leaf, Caden. And you do find that a bit weird because there's like a few places that you could call parks in Bastillion, but it is a city of stone and glass and sometimes metal.
I would actually pick it up and
It's fresh.
tuck it away. Yeah.
Very fresh and glossy. As I briefly said, the College of Nations is very high up and very tall. Tall, thin, spindly, goes up, painted sort of greyish white, and some of that's faded in places. It goes up above the clouds right now. You can see the clouds actually break around it, which is cool as hell. The College of Divination folks, they wear white, but their robes, you know, they aren't taking them to the cleaners as often or mending them, and that's very easy to do in Bastillion. You've passed stalls where people will mend your clothes for like a silver using magic. They're just bam, done, and that sort of thing. But in the College of Divination, you see folks sitting out here meditating in dirty robes. It's weird. Noticeably, before you get to the entrance, which is less grand, actually, it's almost like the plaza tapers to a point, and then there's the entrance to the college. And right by that, on one side, is a large gathering of people. Now, it is nighttime now. Bastillion is actually quite well lit at night. One of the duties of the College of Evocation is lighting all the lanterns in the city and such. But this large gathering of people on what... You know, it might actually be a stage for doing displays to the people. It looks like a stage they're sitting on. It's more wood than stone. But it's lit by what can only be described as fairy light. Pastel colors, of floating little orbs that could give light to the cluster of people who are sitting, lounging, cuddling in a clump. And some of them are wearing divination robes, but most of them have flower wreaths or such things. They don't necessarily block the way into the college, but you gotta go out of your way to avoid them, like someone trying to give you a pamphlet at a train station.
Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact.
Go join a few of them. And just inquire what they're doing.
Okay. That's not what I expected you to do. You do, and one just kind of shrugs. There is the smell of pipe weed in the air. I'm not gonna pretend there isn't. We're just preparing for the future, sister. We're getting ready. And one of the other ones is like, yeah, we're following for the time. It's time to move to somewhere new. Do you need a back massage? You look really tense.
No. But could you please elaborate on what you mean by the future?
That's the question, right? You really hit it on the head there. That's the question. We don't really know what's coming. But we've all seen it. Triumphant Gales has seen it. Talia Tal has seen it. Talia's gonna lead us. A place filled with flowers. And we're gonna be ready to create the next generation in a brilliant place.
Ah, okay. Theo, is there a way to, like, purge one of them?
Oh, I can purge any of these motherfuckers to whichever reality you please. However, cold-blooded murder withstanding, I do not know exactly what you mean.
of the drugs.
That I may be able to do. Let me take a look and see if I got that spell prepared for you.
I want you to know, when you said cold-blooded murder, Caden's ears perked up and it's kind of like, oh, I have to pay attention. I have to pay attention now. What's happening?
Almost like precipitation in the air around us.
Yeah, you totally can. There is the smell in the air is not just pipeweed. It's people being close and intimate in the air.
It's gross.
It's gross. It's a gross mix mash of that and flowers and all that sort of thing. So yeah, you could just. And good thing about predestination, it's not like spraying air freshener in the air. It just removes the smells.
Yeah, it's gone.
Gone. They don't seem to care. They're preoccupied with each other.
I unfortunately do not have remove.
Lesser restoration?
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that tomorrow.
Actually, do I have lesser restoration? I might have that prepared. No.
Maybe that can be a tomorrow endeavor if we run out of leads. Well, thank you for your time.
Time's the one thing we ain't got anymore, sister.
But you're waiting.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Caden looks to Ronan and just says, are these people as confusing to you as they are to me?
Yes, they are.
All right. I'm glad it's not just me this time. It's, all right.
Huh.
You mentioned you start the next generation. Looking around, realizing part of what he is. Other than that, how are you going about this?
Talia Tal is gonna take us to a brilliant place, a safe place, a warm place, where they're all...
Very detail-oriented.
Details don't matter. They don't matter when the future's
I kind of
coming.
give Rowan a look like, see? But, however, if you are a young, displaced, half-blood elven child, who's...
We'll let anyone into our family.
I could see the ideal, right?
Yeah. You know anyone
I'm
like that?
I'm clearly not talking to this NPC.
He does not care. This hippie does not care. This hippie is answering you.
I don't suppose you would know where we could find Talia or Mr. Gales, perhaps.
We just want to learn more about what you guys are doing.
Or about where your new recruits go.
Oh, we just hang out here. We're waiting. We don't need...
Is there a 13-year-old half-elf around here?
Why don't you give me a perception check?
Sure. Ah.
You don't see a 13-year-old half-elf boy. Theo, you look around and immediately notice that at the back of the stage there's two individuals that have been watching you the whole time. Noticeably not Vast-cursed. They look elven, but there's something other about them that draws your eye even more. It's the fact that they don't look threatening that's quite threatening, right? Both very feminine. One a little larger, one a little skinnier. Both with wearing very little, mostly just sort of leaves on a dark skin. They're intently watching the four of you, but in a way where they do occasionally break off to say something to someone else. But they're not like tense either, but they are watching you.
Something I would like to do, just kind of like while others are conversing and I'm just on the sidelines for a minute. gonna cast a spell. I'd like to cast Arcanist Magic Aura if I can.
What?
On myself to basically just make it seem that I am not magical and I'm just a priest. Like I work at a church, but I'm not actually capable of casting.
I get you. I get you.
So
Yes.
if they try to use their divination shit on me, then it's just gonna be like, oh, it's just a dude.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
I don't have to do that. I'm not magical. So
Just a dude.
just a dude. Are you gonna mention these dudes?
This is gonna be one of those things where kind of like at a convenient time when I get a moment to kind of like where I'm facing away from them, I'll be like, do not look just now, but it would appear that we are being watched.
Caden immediately looks.
One of them waves at you in a sort of like a...
Well, I suppose that's it then, and I just start walking over towards those two people.
Caden follows immediately.
Second, like you said to us, like do not just look. Before Caden looks, Ronan just has that look of.
You shouldn't have said it. If you didn't say it, it wouldn't have been a problem. Yeah, Caden immediately looks, and if you start walking over there, he's gonna follow.
As Theo would get there first, one would put an arm kind of on his arm, or hand on arm, and start speaking a fluent, swirling language that none of you understand. I'm pretty sure.
Is it? Well,
I don't know. Should we ping our languages?
Yeah.
Get that out up in the open.
I don't think any of my languages could be described as pretty influent.
No.
I have the exact same as Ronan. To no one's surprise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh! Other spell I have prepared today. I'm gonna cast tongues on myself.
Excellent. You do so, and instantly you understand the language they speak. And through a long-tongued and sharp teeth, they whisper to you that, I don't think you're one of ours. We could make them one of ours. I don't know. It looks like he's come from far away. We should be welcoming to each and every one of them, as long as they do not pose a danger. They're talking to each other.
Yeah. I will then say to them in common.
Which translates.
Yeah.
Because tongues.
Well, I think they can understand me as long as they speak.
Yes, you speak common,
language.
but they can understand it. Yeah.
Assuming that they actually speak. Anyways, yeah, I'm speaking just in common, obviously for the benefit of everyone else, but I also don't want to lead on that I actually understand what they're saying. And I'm just going to say to them, now that is a mighty fine bit of linguistics y'all just threw my way. Can't say I'm too familiar with it, but what exactly is that language y'all are speaking over here?
We speak the mother's tongue.
Whose mother might that be?
Oh, our mother. Of course. The mother. There's no other.
Well, everybody's got a mother, but I'm sure your mother is very kind if she were able to come up with such lovely sounding words.
Why are you talking about someone's mother, Theo?
Yeah, what you hear when they're speaking, it sounds like almost like a mocking song. You can hear the smugness to it.
What is this about mothers?
Oh, they were just saying they are speaking their mother's tongue. Which is very peculiar.
Now that we've all established that we all speak common, can we just use that, please?
No, they are speaking in their language.
Okay, so they actually straight up don't speak on it.
Cool. Theo can understand them. You all can't. So you could say that. They ain't gonna keep speaking.
I would literally say to them, I don't suppose that you speak any other languages my comrades here might be able to understand a little better. They're not as gifted as I am in the Department of Linguistics, and I just kind of look specifically to Caden,
Who is no longer paying attention to you and is assessing the threat of the people in front of him.
You do notice each of one of them has a sword. The swords appear to be made of wood. They're kind of elven in design, in the shapings and things.
They're druid.
Are they recently used?
That's a good question.
Hard to tell what taking them off their backs. Hips, actually. We do not, unfortunately. But if you are interested in joining our endeavor, I'm sure the mother will bless them with beautiful understanding.
Ronan just looks again. This is getting old.
Please pardon me, but I am going to translate, of course, what we are speaking about. And then I will just say to the rest of the group, basically just conveying what they're saying to me. They want us to meet their mother. They say that she might be able to gift all of us with an understanding.
Oh no.
Certainly
None of you are important enough to meet the mother.
Apologies. We're actually not important enough to meet the mother. But we may meet somebody who does know the mother. Am I understanding that correctly? We simply want to know more about what is going on with this whole situation here.
Now the question we pose to you, young man, is why? You walk up here wearing weapons, wearing wit. Have you come to question? Have you come to lead astray? Have you come to undo what has been done?
Well, let me just say, I have no weapons on me, which is true. I actually don't.
Amelia doesn't either.
And nor does she. The two burgeoning young lads you see with us are merely for our protection. This could be a dangerous city, especially for someone such as myself who is not familiar with the ways of...
While you're talking, the one that's kind of leading the conversation turns to the other and says, "They must be jesters." They just nod sagely.
They are quite entertaining at some time, I must admit. But the fact of the matter is, we only have them for our own protection. The two of us have no weapons. We are merely scholars. And my wit, unfortunately, is not something that I can leave at home.
That can be arranged.
How peculiar. In any case, we have a range of interests. Scholarly, for the most part. I'm always curious when I see a new type of magic that I've never seen before, as I'm sure Amelia would be, were she to know what we were speaking of, as I will explain to her in but a moment. Also, we are looking for a friend of ours.
I'm sure you can find many friends amongst those who have enjoyed our company as of late. Motions to the unwashed mass.
I've never had any
Actually,
trouble
these people
friends.
are clean.
Yeah.
You gotta be
Clean
clean
enough.
if you want to have an orgy.
Prestidigitation. I've never had any trouble making friends, but there's one friend in particular I would like to find. However, we could discuss this later. I particularly would love to speak with, if you know, Talia Tall, I believe her name is, or Mr. Gales.
You may speak with Talia.
Well, that would be simply divine.
It wants
Where
to
might we
speak with
find
Talia. The impertinence of youth, I imagine. Yes, well, we must call on her. And one of them actually, just from their body, basically a bird, kind of like swooshes out, kind of comprised of a greenish magic that flies up the tower.
How fun! And then I'll turn to the group and just say to everyone basically what's going on. They are currently summoning Talia to speak with us.
Good. These people are annoying.
What have you been saying about my people? With a burst of color and fresh air, actually, and fragrant floral smells, Taliatal materializes in front of you. Taliatal is a half-orc. For those that can tell the difference between a half-orc and a regular orc. Wearing these, she's wearing, like, the robes of the divination school, but they're, like, open, and there's nothing under them, so that, like, it covers everything, but, like, a gust of wind in the wrong direction will kind of ruin that. And then all the flower bundles and all of that sort of thing.
When she says that, like, Ronan just almost is, like, reactionary. Oh, thank fuck you speak common.
I've got to communicate just like anyone else. My, assistants from the Mother's Land are, they aren't from around here.
I believe that.
People keep saying that as though that's everyone.
No, they're not from.
It's not from around.
They're not from this world. They're from the Promised Land.
What? What?
Well, you see that the world that we live on is just one of many, and my friend, it is doomed. I've seen it. Triumphant Gales has seen it. We gotta prepare. Everyone. Not my mother, the mother.
Who the mother is. My apologies.
A great and powerful being that will secure safety and prosperity and a new generation in her promised land. We must merely muster the strength to join her there. If you want to help, it will be a blessing. But of course, if you do not wish the freedom the promised land brings, that is also okay. We are not here to force anyone into a future they do not want a part in.
And if we did want to help, how would we go about doing that?
Well, we need belief. We need the heart of a being is enough to muster magic beyond one's own. All of us together will create a bridge to the promised land that will bring us safety. We just need numbers and devout and strength and the will. And hopefully it's not going to be too little too late.
So the requirement is just to be here and believe?
You're trying to put everything into a checkbox. The real world isn't a test.
I disagree.
Well, then maybe you wouldn't be too useful here, which is okay.
There is something to be said about the power of belief. I could not agree more. I am only curious about what these people are believing in.
Of a lot of you congregating in such a way, I do not believe you to be converts, and that, again, is okay, but you're not with my college. I don't know why the College of Abjuration would have interest in my little gathering.
Well, I'm looking for a young boy who I believe would be most interested in this. And has been missing for a few days.
Wood Elf 13-ish.
Too young.
Elf.
Wouldn't be much use to us that young.
Why not?
Puts a large, like, this is a large woman, puts a large hand on your shoulder, looks you up and down, and says, "Gotta be of a breeding age."
Caden looks at her and just kind of tilts his head to the side a little bit and just kind of. You're very strange. You know that?
As are all who see the future, my friend. I do hope that we
Well-
do become friends, even if you do not join our little party. Maybe I'll send you a letter from the promised land, if such a thing is possible.
I want to try. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just. What is this promised land? What are you even talking about? Like, I'm sorry. I can't comprehend what you're describing right now.
A few can.
That's not helpful.
I'm sorry that I do not satisfy you.
It's a very weird way to have said that. I'm very confused. I'm going to just walk away now.
Ollie, is there anyone that looks like they're like keeping tabs on the gathering, like someone? That
It
was
would be
tasked
the
with just,
two
like,
people you
looking
just
over?
talked to.
No, as in
Definitely.
like someone not associated with them, like
Oh!
Rook's just like making sure nothing happens and.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You can give me a insight for that. This is the
Okay.
campaign. Insight gets its dividends.
Oh yeah, there's a reason why I had to choose. It's a 4.
6
You
total.
look around. It mostly seems like people are avoiding this cluster of people, some of whom are having somewhat open sex.
There any rooks around?
You can give me a perception check.
While Caden is talking, I would kind of like to sneak away a little bit.
Yeah?
Like, not very far.
Well, I did just say I was walking away.
Yeah, but while he was talking.
Okay, all right.
While
all
you were
right.
Yeah.
speaking, yeah.
Sure.
I'm not gonna, like, physically move away. I just want to cast Dispel Magic on someone. See what happens.
Ooh, I like it.
You do actually notice an immediate, like, presence. Like, as if the people in this gathering are in a haze. And a bit of a confusion, but not the fear or shock of someone who didn't know what was happening. It's like as if you were really drunk and instantly hit sober.
Yeah. Okay. I
Uh,
just want to make sure they're not, like, under any, like, enchantment spells. And
No,
Identify
they-
doesn't let me cast it on a person.
yeah.
It's on objects only. So I'm just gonna cast Dispel Magic and see, like, if they
Yeah.
panic, freak out.
It's shock, and they kind of do turn to whoever's next to them. Like, is it extra cold tonight? What? And like they kind of cuddle to the person next to them for comfort. They do not appear to be under mind control,
Okay.
but there's some mind stuff happening. Not control. Maybe pacification is the right term.
Right.
When you look around, Caden, you do notice a rook. But the question is, what is a rook? Well, like I mentioned, Bastillion is kind of openly ruled by, openly from the shadows, the colleges of magic rule Bastillion. Individual property is owned by spire lords who own territory, who are usually scumbags, usually puppets of the colleges. This is an open secret. Or someone. But the rooks are something entirely removed. The rooks are an organization of people that police. They police threats from the city. They eradicate them. They save people. They are most commonly known for flying through the city with grappling hooks. They're a group of organized vigilantes, essentially. And you look around and you see, actually, on, a sort of the railing off the edge of a building, It's not off at a balcony. It's just kind of where the floor changes, you know, under a window.
Like up high or like...
Up high. It's upper high, and this person is looking down at a lot of them, and you could tell rooks nearly always wear a rook mask with a kind of a beak, although the designs are very personal, and not every rook uses grappling hooks and things like that, but this one does seem quite typical.
Okay.
It would be very hard to reach them there, but they are looking down at this sort of scene, as probably been told to keep an eye on it.
I'm going to turn to Amelia and just say, I'll be right back. And I am going to... Is there a way to reach the building that they are... like? Just
yeah, it would be the case of you know, finding a walkway to get there. Yeah,
I'm actually going to climb up the building.
Yeah.
As quickly as possible, and I do mean climb up the building. So I am actually going to just quickly scale the side of the building.
Please click the thing.
This thing. So I have a swimming speed and climbing speed equal to my normal speed, which is 40 feet.
Yeah, you find the right spot to like hop onto this building and just start climbing up it. And a lot of the spires are actually quite difficult to climb due to being like smooth surfaces and things like this. But actually here, they don't repair things very much. There's sometimes plants growing on the walls, things like that. It's actually a very easy climb. You can climb up some bluish tinted ice climate ivy and get up to this spot. You doing so, like the rook clearly notices you, just kind of glances. They're vast cursed. The horns kind of come up from and swoosh back. The eyes glow gold, which is a very common trait actually among vast cursed through the mask. Just kind of looks at you, looks back.
I'm just gonna sit kind of... I'm assuming there's like little like alcove things on this roof area, and I'm just gonna...
If you're assuming if there's a needless masonry detail on a building in Bastillion,
it is.
There is.
That's my point. So I'm just gonna lean up against one of the Gothic architecture, you know, abominations, and lean up against it and just say, "Have you noticed anything odd, other than just the fact that they're openly, you know?"
Well, there's the fairy lights. That's strange. But it's just otherworldly magic. The issue is if they start summoning things, which it looks like they will, probably. You know, they seem the sort. I mean, those two.
Yeah.
They're clearly extraplanar.
Arrogant as well. That's all I got off of them. I don't speak the tongue that they were speaking, but well, the tone said enough. We're looking for a boy, about 13, half elf, half wood elf. May have come up
lot?
Here. He's not with them.
I've been keeping an eye on this lot for a week or so. I haven't seen any kids.
Good to know. He was, he's been missing from his sister for about five days. Sorry, I'm not good with details, but about 5 days.
When it comes to missing folks, you gotta know the details.
It's not my job to know the details. It's my job to...
It's kind of a note. This conversation would be in Voss.
Oh, absolutely.
All the other conversations you've had haven't been. Voss is... it's actually, Amelia knows it as well. When you say you have Abyssal, you probably have Voss instead. Because Abyssal doesn't really exist. It depends whether you want to speak to demon people or actual demons, Aaron. That's the question. If you want to speak to actual demons, you could have Fiendish. Y'all can decide.
A character sheet?
Yeah.
This will be we discussed before?
Yeah. It's just that they have names now. When this was decided, they didn't have names, I think. But Vas as a language is a little sibilant, a little Latin-esque in some ways as well. It's not otherworldly, which you might expect. It really just is its own weird dialect, and it has some words from other languages that have just been bastardized.
Safety.
But yeah, he nods and agrees and shrugs. Like, sorry, kid. Missing boy isn't really rook business.
No, I know that.
Missing boys, on the other hand.
Yes. Well, some rooks make it their business sometimes.
There's some nasty lords up above.
Yes. Is that what you think at this point?
One person going missing? It could be anything. They could have got into looking for Ro under the waters and got snapped up. They could have fallen off a tower. They could have been grabbed by a giant bat in the night. These things happen. Unfortunately, an individual disappearance is not an anomaly. It makes it hard to find one missing person in Bastillion.
Yes. Well, fair enough.
But
Thank
all
you for your time.
all the luck to you. I hope I managed to at least cut off one thread.
Indeed. That's very helpful. If you do hear anything about a Bosnalines, that's the boy's name.
He just nods,
And,
clearly putting in his memory.
I'm assuming that Caden probably grabbed a few of Amelia's business cards. And so he's going to just hand...
Sensible employee.
Yeah, gonna grab...
He does look at it like... as you would expect.
Yeah, and Caden just kind of says, I know, but that's where I'll be if you find any information. Or you can reach out to Mist. You'll know how to find me.
Interesting. That explains some things.
Well, perhaps I'll see you again. Take care. Oh, and my name's Caden, by the way. It's yours?
It's not important.
Never is.
He ain't replying. He's just watching.
It's there.
This standoff can happen for a time. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything? No?
No.
Nothing to go by?
He just goes back to checking on the people, which
All
at this
right.
point I imagine Theo has had this person in a conversation for ages. So
Yeah. I'm just going to name you Gargoyle, and then he's going to go climb down the building.
there's an immediate look of distaste at that, but he can't argue. I mean, he couldn't give you his name. Like, that's fair.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to do, which I guess I would have done during this time, is basically take out a piece of parchment and write on it I'm trying to think of how to word this, a passage from my super sweet book of occult dark magic shit, and
You mean the Bible?
this is like the Bible plus, like the new King James version.
Well, actually, yes. Yeah.
In a way, but yeah, which, as I've described in the past, which I guess is new for the benefit of the audience, I'll explain, is written in like a language that doesn't really exist. It's kind of like a blend of deep speech and draconic. But write out a passage.
Which just
from
even
that.
the writing systems for these languages do not mix.
I imagine it's very circular. Like
Deep
you're right,
speech
like-
is, yeah.
you know,
Draconic is written
Which-
in lines, but like the lines usually go down and they branch off. It's a whole thing. So it actually could
yeah.
mix in it in a way, but it'd be hard to read for other people. But for you,
Exactly. Which it will, and for me, it's even hard to read. For me, it's like I take a night to read 2 pages, right?
yeah.
So, which is why I'm always studying it. But I'm gonna write out like a non-offensive passage, I guess, like a passage that's like, if you know, you know, but if you don't, it's like, this is like not super pertinent information.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, kind of.
And
I think
basically something that's not extremely important. Like if this got into the hands of someone extremely evil, I wouldn't be upset about it. But, you know.
It's not a passage that holds power.
Yes, exactly. Basically just write this out and show it to Talia and ask her if this means anything to her.
We have people that can translate anything if you're interested.
I'm also curious about your premonition on this world and what exactly it is you see and what exactly it is you think it means.
You know, it's an interesting thing. Where is it that you said you're from?
Oh, here and there, but mostly Northenden. That's where I was born and raised, at least.
Kind of like looks all over you. You also could tell that she's clearly trying to look into your mouth when you're talking, which is a very weird thing to notice.
That's a very weird thing.
Okay, then.
The premonitions are mostly different every time. It's hard to get a solid reading on the far future. The further it is, the further the paths of the river branch, but all the paths start to wither away. That's what we're seeing. Sometimes see a meteor, sometimes see never-ending darkness. Sometimes see the dead rising, sometimes see dragons flying in the skies. It's the dread that gets me. I don't know if you've ever fought for your life. If you ever had, you know the feeling.
On occasion, I have been known to engage in a struggle between life and death, so I think I know precisely the feeling of which you are describing. And it's not a pleasant one. That is troubling. It sounds like you yourself are not quite sure what could be on the way.
I prefer to focus on a solution rather than the problem itself. It's always done me quite well. Got me to Archmage status in the college, at least.
Well, I can't really argue with that. Interesting. I find this whole situation quite fascinating.
This has been an interesting conversation, Father.
Very interesting. I have nothing else to say to you, so we may move on with the plot, if that is okay with everybody else.
It is, it's a late night. It's cold. I'm sure a lot of you have, she turns, she's like sitting on the railing where someone could easily push her off the edge if they actually wanted to. She turns to see Caden like rejoin the group after scaling the building. I'm sure you have your own business to attend to. I do hope that you have a brilliant night, and I hope the future treats you greater than it will treat the many.
Did I come back at a bad time?
No, we were just talking about the impending doom of the world and, you know, media's causing eternal darkness, rousing the dead from their graves. Also dragons and whatnot. You know.
So the usual?
You've heard one,
Hopefully
you've
not.
heard them all.
Caden kind of just shakes his head and then turns to Amelia. He was never up here. I don't know what you just said. You were very quiet.
You're muted on the new microphone.
How am I muted?
I do like that your
There
your new mic, you boop to mute. I've been noticing it and very much enjoy it.
Oh, that's
The
cool.
light was on.
Yeah.
I like
Should
that.
be them muted.
You're just quiet. Hasn't been here. Not for about a week. Caden looks back. He didn't like the name, but I called him Gargoyle. He noted that he hasn't seen the boy.
I think that's a suitable name for someone who perches themselves along the side of large stone buildings myself.
You haven't seen many rooks, have you?
I've
You
seen
call
one.
a lot of people gargoyle.
It's up to that guy with my cane. Like,
If that was the case, there'd be a lot of people that go by that name here.
Yes. Either way, I thought we should stay on task. I've sent just a note and asked if he does see anything to let us know, or to let my contact know. And they'll know how to get a hold of me.
I mean, and I gesture around. There's a whole bunch of weird shit going on here, but I do not think any of it pertains to this boy.
Also, I do believe it to be consensual. I did run a few tests and clear any magic out of their systems.
That's
Well, that
cool.
is good news.
They proceeded to act as they were. So, no
College of
enchantment.
Conjuration, then?
Yes.
Suppose so. Is that where we were going next?
Well,
I wasn't really paying attention.
Less in the Major Square.
All right.
lest any of you plan on pissing off spirits from the Feywild, I do propose that is what we do.
That does sound fun. but no.
Feywild. He turns to Ronan. Didn't Father used to talk about the Feywild every now and then?
I'm not quite sure, but it does sound familiar.
Yeah.
He looks sort of uncomfortable when answering.
Caden picks up on it and just ends the conversation. He doesn't push and just kind of turns back and says, "Well, shall we?"
Indeed.
You travel to the Mage's Diamond, which is more or less the middle of the city. This is the Times Square of Bastillion. It is a large space. There's some trees. It's a large plaza, diamond-shaped, as in a twisted square. Not a fancy-pantsy diamond. No highfalutin diamonds in my city. But the most important thing, not only is this a very large space, kind of a mixture between Times Square and Central Park in New York. Coated in street preachers, still busy in the middle of the night, well lit, all that sort of thing. But the main thing, which is why this place is so important, people fight bloody battles to be in control of the Mage's Diamond, is because on two sides of it sit the College of Conjuration and the College of Transmutation. The two colleges are completely linked. Their spires have many walkways and tubes that twist between them. They are both sort of hot pinkish red and sort of deep blue, the two of them. And they are the most important colleges in the city. Bastillion could not have a population this large without them. The magic of summoning things to this plane and the magic of changing the properties of things are so important that they are incredibly wealthy, incredibly powerful, incredibly useful, and tied to everything. The Mage's Diamond, even at this time of night, is busy. And Bastillion's places that would be busy are still busy at night. Vasquez can see in the dark, and they're warm through the cold of night. It doesn't really get that much colder, because it can't really get that much colder. So there are still gatherings at night. Like I said, there's the street preachers. There's people saying the rules of the area so no one gets confused. There's occasionally criers telling news. There's people selling their wares. There's people selling their services from the colleges. The occasional beggar, although they are removed from the Mage's Diamond quite swiftly. And also note, even though this place has nothing above it. The diamond, sky. Very rare in Bastillion. Usually you can't afford that. But there's no snow on the ground because there are constantly people cleaning it away. It's a whole process. What are you guys interested in doing?
I would like to question one of the cleaners.
Smart. Smart lad right there.
So I would find one of the experienced, not smart.
We never done none of that book learning, but
I imagine what's happened is he's gone and like been through this process of questioning everything but the cleaner enough times that he's like, no, I'm just going straight there first.
You head towards one of them. They don't have any sort of uniform or anything. They have a it's kind of like a broom and a rake. The rake parts can be clicked up and down. That they are both sweeping and raking the leaves from the very winter dead tree that you're currently under. There's basically 4 little garden patches, large garden patches in the diamond. Each one having a big old oak, honestly, is what they are. And he's just cleaning. Kind of looks up at you. This person's probably like middle-aged. It can be hard to tell the age of Vaskhurst. They live the same sort of lifespan as humans, but they're weird. Some of them age very well, some of them age not so well. This person looks like not so well. And they kind of like, I'm not in your way, am I?
No, don't worry about that. I'm just looking for someone. Have you seen, perhaps in the last couple of days, a half wood elfin boy about 13?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Persuasion. That's okay. I'll take that.
We'll see if it's okay.
No. The bonus
stat,
is what I was
yeah.
saying is okay. Yeah.
He kind of looks you over your armor and is like, look, you know how this works. I can't say nothing without protection money.
Look,
Yeah.
he's my brother. I'm just looking out for him. He's gone missing while I was on a job. I just want to make sure he's being taken care of.
Everyone's got a brother that they want taken care of one way or another.
So are you saying you're not going to help me? He tone very specifically changed.
You want to do that intimidation roll?
Yeah. Well, Caden kind of walks up behind him and just crosses arms.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Give me an intimidation roll, Ronan. I'm not giving you advantage for someone aggressively crossing their arms.
Stepping up behind as well. Just getting ready.
Didn't need it.
No. You're looking for your brother. Just a kid. I get it. Yeah, no, I may have seen someone like that. It's hard to tell. There's a lot of half elves that come through the square, but you know he was pretty determined. He was going to the college, the make things happen college. You know that one. He was going.
What does he point to?
He points to the conjuration, yeah, which is red.
About how long ago was this?
Oh. Now let me think. I had the Mountain Guard game on Pradesh, so it would have been 5 days ago.
Perfect.
You know, the kid left. He looked kind of sad. You know.
Which direction?
I think he probably got some news that wasn't
leave?
so good. Oh. He points southeasterly.
Now, is that the direction of the house?
No.
Where they live?
The direction of the necromancy college.
Okay. Well, thank you for being oh so forthcoming. I assume you'll be here if I need to come back.
I might be. I don't know where I'll be each day. It changes. This is a wild world we live in.
Well, have a nice day. And he walks off to inform the others of what they just found out. It appears he went into the college, but came out looking sad and headed in that direction, towards the College of Necromancy. Should probably check the route. Make sure nothing happened on the way. You said you were looking into college admissions. We might be able to find out what happened in there.
Yeah. Maybe we can head back to the tower at some point in time and see if we got a reply.
Would there be any point in heading into the College of Conjuration now? They probably wouldn't help us, would they?
Most likely not.
By
And
the,
I don't
sound,
I hate the colleges.
by the sounds of it, he was rejected and thought he might try his hand at the School of Necromancy.
If there's one thing I've learned, it's definitely not a good idea to assume.
Oh, assume? Me? Never. This is mere conjecture on my part. We certainly must follow up. But I do have a few theories of the possible machinations at work here formulated within the back of my mind.
Fair enough. Well, I will work on the facts for now, then. Turns around and starts walking the direction that the kid went.
Gaiden will turn to Amelia and just say, "Are you wanting to go back home first?"
We can check the route and then look back around.
All right.
Okay. Well, this is an excellent time to take a break. There were no P's in the sentence. I had no right to pee. And yet, I peed alone. We'll be back in a few minutes. You enjoyed it.
You have no right
I'm
to
off the hook.
criticize a single word that comes out of my mouth.
You're not here for the streams where I'm not doing D&D, and it's 100% stupid. All the time. My Josiah jokes are not when I'm doing D&D. Well, the Monday game is also 100% stupid. Never mind. There's one of the main characters in the Monday game is named Billiam. So that tells you how that is.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll be back in some amount of minutes. Whom knows?